Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jen, and in today's video we're going to be going through my linen cabinet, and I'm going to be decluttering everything and getting it to a point to where I can actually organize it. So this is the inside of the cabinet. This is one little portion of it. Mostly I have blankets, beach towels. Usually my toilet paper goes in there. I've just bought some, so I need to put some in there. And then I have some extra dish towels and whatnot. This cabinet over here, I have some stuff for the girls. I used to do some homeschooling stuff with them, but I also have crafts and other miscellaneous office supplies in there. And then in this cabinet over here is kind of where I keep all of my crafts. I can't even open this door over here because I have stuff in the way, which I will show you here in a minute. But yes, it just has my sewing machine. I have a Cricut that I actually want to eventually be able to put in here. And then it just has yarn and a whole bunch of other miscellaneous. This is all the crap that I had in front of it that I actually need to move. So if you're interested, keep on watching and let's get started. One of the things that I like to do when I go through and declutter is, as I've mentioned in a couple other videos, be able to touch everything that you have. For me, I sometimes forget that I have stuff shoved way back in the corner. I'm sure I'm not the only one. And so by going through everything and touching it and seeing if it's something that you actually want really helps in the declutter process. I know for me, I like to collect certain things such as blankets and towels and all of those types of things. I think that one day I'll always end up using it for a later use. Half the time I never really end up doing that. So it's always a good idea to go through and just figure out what are the things you actually need and what are the things that you want. There's definitely nothing wrong with keeping things that you want as long as you have space for them. So the whole process of decluttering is finding out the things that you really need, and if you have leftover space, then you can always add your wants in there. One thing that I find helpful in the decluttering process is to try to group like items together. Here I have things that are healthcare items. A lot of it I have from when the girls were sick a couple months ago. Other things are just like blood pressure machines. I have a heating pad in the background that I'll eventually be putting in with all of this stuff. But when you're going through and decluttering, if you put things together, just grab a bin that you already have or a basket or a box and go ahead and put them in like categories. It'll help when you actually come to purchasing the boxes that you want and the bins that you want, because you'll know how big of an actual bin that you need. Decluttering is something that is a constant in your life. It's something that you're always going to have to do, no matter how neat or organized of a person you are. I consider myself to be somewhat of a minimalist. I'm definitely not hardcore on it, but I do try to keep things down to a minimum. And even myself, I have to go through all of this stuff a few times a year, at least once a year, in order to keep everything maintained, because life just happens. You end up buying things, you put it in a spot, and you either forget you have it or you just lose it somehow. You end up buying more, whatever the case might be. So once you start the decluttering process, it's good to continue it on on at least a yearly basis to try to keep all of your clutter down. Okay, so I've gone through all of the stuff in here. I basically took everything out and I laid it out in categories. I wanted to show you guys the categories that I have just so that you can kind of get an idea. These markers, I actually have some downstairs. These are for those, like, those, I don't know, magic paper or whatever it's called. They're really cool. It's like they don't have color on the tips, but when you color it on the paper, it changes it to whatever color. Anyway, I have a whole bunch of these downstairs, so I'm going to add these to the pile I have downstairs. And then this pile right here I have is basically just school stuff or like learning stuff. So I have, you know, tracing with letters and mazes and all that kind of fun stuff. And then these are printouts that I've printed out at some point to work with the girls before Luna got into school, and I'll probably be working with Avery until she goes to school in the fall. So anyway, I left those off. So this is all like school and learning stuff. These are just flashcards that I have and whatnot. And then this is kind of like entertainment stuff for the kids. So I do have water beads in here. I need to buy some more. These are just like I don't know, like a connect bead type thing the girls like to play with. This is one of those water mats. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but you use these pens that are full of water and you can write on it. It's really, really cool, and then it dries and disappears. And then this is just a bin that I had. I actually had this rice in it. I colored this rice maybe about a year or so ago to all different colors, and so we were using them in these bins, but I think I'm gonna actually throw the rice out and probably just stick with water beads because they're smaller. And then over here I have, this is all the craft stuff that was in that cabinet that I'm going to put with my crafts and not keep them with this pile of stuff. So I'm going to actually move these over to the other cabinet once I go through the craft cabinet. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the majority of this stuff and I'm going to be putting it back in here. Oh, I forgot to tell you, this stuff is like my office stuff. So I have a laminator that I bought when I was doing school with the girls last year. And then this is just like pens and these little tiny like post-it tab things. And yeah, just like extra pens and stuff that we have. And then these are manila folders and the lamination paper that I need for my laminator. So I'm gonna leave these up here. This is kind of like my little office stuff. And then in this, I have nothing in here. I basically emptied it all out. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm probably going to leave this top part for like office type stuff. And then down here I'm gonna do some of the girls' crafty type things that I want to keep up here. I also have a bookcase downstairs that I have a lot of their stuff in. So some of this stuff, like their books and stuff like this, I'll probably put downstairs. But the rest of like this type of craft stuff, I'm probably just gonna put back in here. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. One thing that I do find helpful in keeping clutter to a minimum is to create designated spaces for each of your items. I like to do that anyway with all of my items around the house in regards to making sure that everything has a home. But when it comes to clutter, a lot of times I find that people just don't have the right organization in mind. For me, for an example, for my Christmas decor, I have 2 large bins that I put everything in. And if I go out and buy something something one year, then I have to make sure it's either going to fit in that bin, and if it doesn't, then I have to get rid of something in order to make my new item fit. This is one of the ways that I try to keep clutter down to a minimum. It helps me a lot because I know how much space I actually have without going completely overboard. So as you can see, I have made quite a mess. I think my entire hallway is filled with stuff. So I have it kind of piled out here, sort of, but I'm basically going to go in and rearrange this kind of stuff. The way that I had it set up before isn't really how I wanted it. My Cricut, I want to try to get that back in here, so that's what I'm going to try to do now. So I'm going to rearrange everything to see if I can get it to fit all back in the way that I want. So it is day 2 of my decluttering, and I've basically put everything that was on the floor the day before on top of the linen cabinet just so that I could walk around. And so right now I'm going through all of the bags that I had left over and all the miscellaneous items that didn't have a place, and I'm putting them where they need to go. Some of the stuff I'm putting into my laundry room because I need to go through it at a later time, or it's something that I need to sell. I'm also changing out a few baskets. I had some stuff in smaller baskets, found some bigger baskets that became available, so I'm just switching a few things over. Obviously I'll be going through later and I'll be finding a basket that I want to keep long term, but for right now I'm basically just rearranging things to make sure that everything can fit. Again, I'll be decluttering if I can't make everything fit, or if I find more things that I actually do need to get rid of. Okay, so I'm officially done. This is the stuff that I'm going to be getting rid of. It's quite a bit of stuff. This whole thing is full in there. And then I have an entire bag of yarn that I don't need, and then just some miscellaneous other stuff. This actually goes in Avery's room. Those are our nighttime books that we look through. But anyway, I just wanted to show you what everything looks like. So I was able to get my Cricut in here, which is awesome because that's one of the things that was sitting on the shelf for the longest time that I could not put away. So I basically went through and stacked as much stuff as I could. Obviously, I would like to go through and eventually buy some really nice organizers and stuff, but for right now, everything fits in. It's pretty accessible. I have my sewing machine under here, some of my sewing stuff, all of my yarn. I went through and I did keep a little bit. This is basically my bin that I'm going to contain it in. So if I buy any more that doesn't fit in here, then I either have to get rid of something in here or get rid of whatever I just got or not get it. Yeah, and so anyway, there's Cricut stuff in there, my craft stuff, and then other miscellaneous stuff down there. So this is this one. And then this is what I had all the girls' school stuff in. It's still basically craft girls stuff. I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm going to make this one to be because a lot of the craft stuff that they have is downstairs in their playroom, since we do most of the crafts downstairs, but I will keep some of the stuff up here for right now until I can figure out what to do with it. And then the last bit is this side. And this has our toilet paper and then some, it's like a heating pad and a foot massage, extra blankets, and some miscellaneous like healthcare stuff I have to figure out what to do with, and then some towels over there. So that is that. And then I did get rid of an entire bag full of stuff. So this entire trash bag is full of just stuff that I don't want anymore. So I think I did pretty good. I'm super excited, and yeah, now we got to get some organizers and make it all pretty. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I'm really happy with the progress that I made. I was able to declutter an entire trash bag worth of stuff. The next phase, I'll be going around and I'll be buying the really pretty Pinterest-worthy bins and organizing everything to a T. I'll be putting a video out probably in the next couple months going on with that, but next week, you'll really want to stick around because I'm going through and I'm decluttering and organizing my entire laundry room. I basically want to show you guys the entire process that I go through from literally decluttering it all the way into organizing it and making it look really pretty. It's going to be a really fun video. It's a room that I have not gone through in a really long time. It's kind of my clutter space where I put everything, so I'm really excited to be doing this one. That one will be coming out in the next week or so don't forget to subscribe, and remember, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. It really helps me and my channel, and I hope you guys will stick around for the next one. I can't wait to see you then. Thanks. Bye.